time or giving myself some time while I work on the patient because I need it. Sometimes it takes a minute. I got 32 teeth. That's like 2 minutes a teeth. OBGYN, or they have the geriatrics or the psych ward or, stuff like that. Like, why not just add a little dentist office in there?
If you could give a piece of advice to your younger self in hygiene school, what would that be? Hey everybody, and welcome to Real Talk Beyond the Dental Chair. Today we have a very special person to me, and this is Aniston. She is a dental hygienist, a new dental hygienist. She was a dental student for all this time, and she's also a dental influencer. She likes to give advice to students. And so today we're going to be talking about her experience, and I hope that she inspires all of you new hygienists. Aniston, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, thank you, Ima. Appreciate it. Hi, I'm Aniston, also known as Phosphate Aniston, but I'm so happy to be here. I just graduated dental hygiene school October 3rd, so not too long ago. And then I literally just took my boards yesterday on October 16th. So that was an experience, but I'm glad it's all done and over with. Like she said, I make educational videos for dental hygiene students to make it easier because dental hygiene school is hard.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where your journey began as a dental hygienist?
Yes. So what's funny is a lot of people say like, "Oh, were you a dental assistant before?" And I was not. I actually worked more with nurses. My mom's a nurse, and COVID happened, and I worked at her assisted living facility that she worked at as an activity assistant with those who have dementia and behavioral issues. So I actually have a strong love for the elderly. And I noticed when I was at different facilities that they weren't getting the proper oral hygiene care that they need. And as I was going to school for my prereqs for dental hygiene, it kind of made my love grow for it as I was in school, and being able to look at that aspect and makes me want to have a bigger love for hygiene to educate caregivers and nursing and CNAs to educate them more on oral hygiene, how important it is, even if you are living in a assisted living home.
That is a good point because I remember as a student dental hygienist, I used to go to these facilities and you will notice that the oral hygiene was not there, which is very sad.
Yeah. But it's understandable because most of the time, depending if it's a facility or a group home, there's maybe at most 3 CNAs to a patient. If there's a big facility, there's probably about 30 patients a hall, and one CNA will take one hall and then the other. So it's like 10 to 30 patients per CNA.
Wow.
So it's like they have to shower, they have to eat, they have to change them, and they're not going to have time to brush someone's teeth. So they're kind of out of luck when it comes to that. And I totally understand that. It's definitely something we got to make a little bit of time for, which I know they're overworked.
Is that what inspired you to become a dental hygienist?
No, actually, I just didn't want to be a nurse. And I really wanted like a realistic job, if that makes sense. Like I can sing and I can, do these different things, but I really feel like working in the healthcare care field is important. And growing up, I never really liked my teeth. I had Invisalign, not really. It was like Smile Direct. So it kind of helped straighten my teeth a little bit. But family does not have really good dental genetics. So I want to be that person that's there for them to give them advice, to make sure that they're getting the proper care, make sure that they're not getting overcharged or something that they need or don't need. And I just really like teeth. I don't know. That's like a weird thing. Like I feel like only people in dental understand that. I just like teeth. I don't know.
And some people don't understand that, but somebody has to do it. So it's better that you like it, right? What was your favorite part of dental hygiene school?
I feel like my favorite part of dental hygiene school was getting over challenges, knowing that it's all worth it in the end, like, okay, I got through this semester and I got through this semester and I'm making it, I'm doing it. This is crazy. And of learning different things through each patient and feeling more confident after each patient, or even feeling a little defeated after each patient because you learn from that. You're like, okay, what did I do wrong and how can I improve? And I feel like those up and downs made it my favorite thing because I was able to grow from each.
And every patient is a world, right? It is so much to take into consideration. It's not just the case, like how his mouth looks like, but it's also their personality, their medical history. If people don't realize how much it is actually to take to treat a patient,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's
It's a
not like
lot.
just open your mouth and like clean your teeth,
Yeah. So much goes into it.
which is what a lot of our patients would like us to do, but that's not how it goes, right?
I mean, that's what I thought. I was like, I'm just gonna clean teeth. How hard is that?
Was there a moment during your education when you thought, yes, this is the career for me?
I feel it was the first day of school where my teacher said the same thing. Like, you might think you're just here to clean teeth, but you're not. You are here to educate patients. You are here to be an advocate for those patients. You can do whatever you want. You are a preventative care provider. You're here to help the patients become healthier, not only in just their mouth, but their whole systemic. We're one of the first people to find out if they have cancer. Not find out, but kind of see those lesions or bumps anywhere because we do head and neck oral cancer screenings. And there's been a lot of times too where my patients, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a routine oral cancer screening. And they're like, what? Like, oh no, like, do I have cancer? No, it's just routine. We're just making sure you're okay. And like, I was able to see certain things and be able to refer the patients that came in to see me for these different things happening. And it was just very eye opening to be like, I am that person that can help them through this and make those referrals so that they can be okay.
For sure. What was the most unexpected thing that you learned in school?
Ooh, it's an unexpected thing. Oh, I don't know.
Everything.
Unexpected. I know everything. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna learn about this? Honestly, it was that just like, oh my gosh, what do I have to know this? Like, what's so important about knowing how diabetes works or infective endocarditis? Like, why do we have to know all these different medications? Why do I have to know dental materials? Isn't that the dentist's job? Like, I don't know why I need to know thermoconductive electricity or whatever. Why do I have to know how that X-ray machine works?
Oh
Why do I have to know
yeah,
all the inside of an X-ray? I mean, I
every
know it.
part, right?
I know. Like, oh my gosh.
Was that in your exam too?
Yeah, actually, some of it was, I think. But what's cool is I was able to teach radiology for 2 semesters, so it's pretty much really good in here.
So it was on my board too, because I was thinking, why do I have to know all these parts and who was the first one that created it and all that
Oh
stuff?
my goodness.
And so, like the whole history and the mechanics of it, and sure enough, it was in the board. I could not believe it.
Dang, we didn't have that, and there's no more. I didn't get any questions about film either.
Really? Now we have the digital x-rays, so it's a little different. But
Yeah,
for us, they gave us paper. Did you do it in the computer?
yeah, I was all on a
Oh,
computer.
it's nice. Yeah, mine was on paper. And we have all these photocopy of all x-rays, film x-rays. What could you see there? What could you possibly, I mean, you guessed, because there were artifacts and all kinds of stuff. It was
Uh,
tricky, gosh. It's been a while. How was your first experience as a dental hygienist? Because you just graduated. How was that when you became the dental hygienist? You say, gosh, I did it. I'm here. I passed all my boards. And now what?
After I had my pinning, it was kind of like, okay, what now? Like, okay, what am I doing? How am I gonna, I spent 2 years hanging out with all of my classmates almost every single day. So it's like, I don't get to see them anymore. It's kind of sad. And it's like, what do I do with myself? But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of sad and bittersweet, but it's like, oh my gosh, thank goodness I don't have to go to clinic today, or thank goodness I don't have to study for an exam. Like waking up, I'm like, I don't got to study for nothing now.
Well done, right?
So, a relief.
That's great. So what were your biggest fear like before you graduated and in compared to now, like the reality now?
My biggest fear was, am I gonna graduate? I feel like every semester there was like a chance of like, oh my gosh, if I don't pass this test, I'm not gonna make it. There's no cohort behind me. They would always say that to us too. They're like, you guys better pass because there's no cohort behind you to fall on. We're like, okay, we get it. So that was annoying. But now it's kind of like, okay, am I gonna find the right office? What if I don't know, it's like a weird thing. 'Cause it's like, okay, I spent 2 years doing clinics and doing everything, and it's just the anxiety of, okay, what now? And I'm just gonna go into the office and work on people. I don't know, it's weird. Okay, like how do I do this? But like you've been doing it for 2 years, so it's like, how do you not know? It's
Mm.
just kind of interesting,
It is definitely interesting.
unknown.
Are you interviewing now? Are you looking for an office, or what are your plans?
I am just shadowing for now. I'm calling different offices and asking to shadow them. And whatever office I feel like I think then I'll, interview. I feel like going in there and shadowing is probably a little bit better than kind of working it interview or, having an interview because you want to know how the place works a little bit. To know the staff, see how everything is, how are they sterilizing things, what are their protocols, how is their dentist like, and just observing things before you walk into it. So got a couple offices around here. I already shadowed one, and they were really nice, and I really liked them. So you can call in different places and finding it out, and then I'll see if I can do interviews.
One thing that some offices do is you could do pedo hygiene. Is it the same thing in Arizona?
Pediatric hygiene?
Mhm.
I don't know if I really want to do
Did you need to
peds.
be a hygienist even to do pediatric hygiene?
I'm not too sure. I don't really know, but there is that like children dentistry, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm for kids really.
No, no, no. I mean, like to get your feet wet, you could do that.
Hmm.
Like the practice, how it is, the culture, like
Yeah,
to actually do hygiene.
maybe I'll
Yeah,
think about it.
I did that. It's like it wasn't by choice though. I have to tell you, I didn't even know that I could. I started to interview before I had the results of my board. That's how sure I was going to pass it. I'm like, I'm not. There is no way I'm not going to pass this. To me, when I decide to do something, I just go for it 100%. And I remember when I was in the school, some of my classmates will say, "Well, C equals degree," and I was like, "No, it doesn't. Not in hygiene."
Mm-mm. A's or
No,
B's.
because our C, in reality, it is a B in the real world,
Hmm.
right? And what is supposed to be our B's is really an A that you have to achieve, right? It's the same
Yeah.
thing here, right? So I was like, there is no way in hell that I'm gonna fail a class because then you have to wait a whole year. So with my boards, it was the same thing. So anyway, the point is that I started to look for a job before I even have my boards passed because I'm thinking, you know, at least I can get used to the interviewing process because I haven't done that before. So I went into the first office and they hired me right away. And I was shocked. I was because I was leaving. I just had my interview. I was like, okay. And I had other interviews planned out. And the manager came after me and she was like, hey, your personality, we want you. Can you work with us? And I was like, well, I don't know, because at that point I was doing my master's, right? And I was
What?
planning having the whole summer in Germany doing an internship. And I was like, well, I am going to be gone for the summer. I already planned this out. I'm doing this internship. And they were like, okay, we'll wait. I'm like, really? I don't have my results for the exam yet. I don't have the license. They're like, oh, it's okay. You can do pedo. I'm like, okay, can I do pedo? I'm like, okay, well, I can do pedo for a little bit until I get my results. But then I'm going to Germany. And they were like, okay. So, and you know what? It's so funny because then I stay in that same practice for 17 years.
Oh, whoa. That's crazy.
That's a long time, right? Crazy. And the thing, I got really lucky because that was a really good practice. The people there, some people were there for like 30 years.
Whoa.
Could you even imagine? I mean, and nowadays that is almost unheard of, right?
Yeah.
But the truth
Absolutely.
is that the dentists treat us really well, whether it's dentistry or whether it's any office. So what you put out there is what you're going to get. If you really have that kind of attitude, if you care about your people, they're going to respond well. And he did so much for us. He paid us really well. We have bonus
Oh,
too that were easy to achieve. I was living the life then. And he was an older dentist. So before he retired, he wanted to make sure that he would do something for us. So he let us have some investment in his office.
wow.
It's called IPSA. And he actually let us do that. So when he retired, we all got a good chunk of money. Put into
Dang.
a retirement, right? So that was really nice. And there is not too many people like that. And I know that there is a lot of complaints now about hygienists, that they're not enough hygienists, that we want to get paid too much and everything. But really, if you're good at what you do and you have a good practice, and you don't have to worry about that because the patients will come and they will stay too. You will be successful.
Yeah.
But you need to create that environment,
Yeah,
right? You
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And especially I also had some other people tell me like sometimes when you're in an office that's had patients for a long time, they also have undiagnosed perio because the doctor or the older generation of hygienists, they don't want to disappoint them and they haven't really gone subgingival enough to get the calculus out. And they're just like, oh, you're fine. They don't want to overcharge them either, especially with the insurance. So, like, that's a whole problem now. Like, if I, a new hygienist, go into an office, you're going to see a lot of undiagnosed perio. But you can't just say, well, you got perio maintenance after all these years of prophies. So you have to like strategically do this by perio charting and putting in notes and x-rays and putting in your opinion of things slowly over time in order to even diagnose them. A PMT, you know?
Yes, it is sad, but that happens. And, you know, I experienced that a couple times during COVID. I started to temp in this office that it was well established with a young dentist too. And he apparently bought this office from an older dentist. And I saw patients there. eh, eh, I'm embarrassed to say this, but they actually had a hygienist. It was an older hygienist. And when I started seeing patients there, and their pool of patients was 40 and up. So at that age, we're going to have some kind of issue. And so there was no one day that went by, and I was there for a month, that I would not diagnose somebody with perio. Like maybe one, two. I mean, like one time it was like four. It
Yeah.
was just crazy, right? And I mean, some form of perio, not all of them were advanced, but in different stages. And I remember having to sit down with the patient and having to explain, yes, I am new. You have never seen me before, but now I have to tell you that you need periodontal treatment. And some patients did not take it very well. And I had to show them the x-rays and I had to talk to the dentist. And
Yeah.
the dentist actually told me, well, I got this practice from another dentist and this was his patients. And that dentist was kind of neglectful. And I'm thinking to myself, and now you are neglectful too, because you are not giving to these patients what they need. And even though I had to show the doctor the x-rays too, I was like, well, do you see these x-rays from this year to this year? And you can see the piece of calculus growing every year, every time that they took the x-rays. And now it's a 7 millimeter pocket. And now what? Right? So it is a really hard situation when you walk into something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a way to get bonuses.
Yeah, it is a big
Jesse.
bonuses, but it's hard to talk to the patient. It's hard to talk to the doctor. And is he willing to change?
Mm-hmm.
Then in other office, this one I actually end up working for a while, but they used to call temp hygienists all the time because that's another thing that if you call temp hygienists, sometimes they don't want to put on the work,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's not their office. They really don't care. I'm not going to say that all of us are like that. Some of us are. And so I walked in patients that just had periodontal treatment done and they needed, they still had, everything was there. So, and I
Yeah.
would tell the patient, you cannot tell the patient, yes, I know that you have periodontal treatment last month or whatever, but everything is still there and you have to do it again. How do you approach that? What would you say if you're in that situation?
I have no idea. That's like another thing that scares me. I'm like, I don't know how I would say this because I don't want to trash the other hygienist. But it's like,
You can't. You can't do that because then the patient is going to lose the credibility on the doctor, in the office, all in general, right? So the way that I approached it was, it looks like this area is still a little unresponsive to the treatment. So let me go ahead and I'm going to retreat a couple areas and see if you do better.
okay, retreat. Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't charge, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I told the dentist, I said, we cannot charge this.
Yeah.
The patient just did it. We just charged the insurance. The doctor was receptive too, but that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
You cannot blame the hygienist. You cannot blame the office.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's great advice. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
anyway, we're talking about you, not about me.
I'm learning. This is my experience to learn.
Yeah, man. What is your biggest fear?
Oh my goodness. That's not my biggest fear.
Yeah, in terms of
I don't know.
work.
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like I have so much anxiety when it comes to anything. So it's just kind of like my biggest fear. Oh my gosh, getting an instrument stuck in someone's gums. Maybe having a dentist who doesn't want to help get new instruments or like new things that would improve in the office. Not my biggest fear, but not having enough working time on a patient who needs time or giving myself some time while I work on a patient because they need it. Sometimes it takes a minute. I got 32 teeth. That's like 2 minutes of teeth.
So that is something that I think that most of us will understand that you're new and that you are used to 3 hours per patient, whether now you only have one or 1.5 for a new patient. It depends on the practice, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to have to know that. And that's something that if they even say something to you to rush you, you just have to let them know. I'm trying my best and I will catch up with it, but I just graduated.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they know that,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you should not be scared of that. Don't be scared. You'll be fine. You'll be an excellent hygienist. You'll be fine. Just take everything with a grain of salt,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
The patients too. Because
Yeah.
I mean, usually we have really good patients, but we have some with personality too.
You just have to overcome it.
They're fine.
Yeah.
They obviously have issues beyond your scope.
Yeah. Refer you refer you over to another specialist.
Yeah. I always say that I would prefer any office to have an extra room just for when the patient come in, they can go in and empty everything that they have in terms of any issues that they might come with. So they leave it in that room and they can come and work with me. But of
Mm.
course, that's going to happen. But that would be an
Yeah.
ideal work.
Well, that's I think the important part about like maybe having a hygienist in hospitals or how they have malls. And in the mall, it's just a bunch of medical offices. So you can be like, okay, go down here to this floor and, go see this person. Just like how they have in hospitals where they have ERs and the OBGYN or they have the geriatrics or the psych ward or, stuff like that. Like, why not just add a little dentist office in there?
And that would be ideal,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm like, only one could dream. Maybe I'll be the change. I'll start something like that. Get
I
all
mean,
these different.
hey, talking about that, you already made a lot of changes, right? Because I have seen you in social media with your tooth fairy costume, looking for patients, and I think that you started that movement. So now you're gonna pass it on to your little sisters, right? In hygiene.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'm trying to go to First Friday again. So First Friday is like a little event every first Friday of the month where people go walk around. People are selling art. People are selling food from food trucks. People are selling clothes and jewelry, and there's like dance parties. There's like a thing, and it only happens from like 5 to 9, I think. So it's a great place to go and meet people or like have people make some money there. And so that I'm spreading free healthcare, free dental care. And a lot of people look at me like, what are you doing? I'll be like, hey, my sign. And I'll like make eye contact with them and they're like, I'm like, I'm not asking for money. I'm giving you money at this point. And I'm giving you free service. Okay. Don't look at me weird. Smile at me. Let me see that smile. Do you need a cleaning?
Let me check you out. I have a mirror here in my pocket.
Yeah. Let me get my loops on actually. Okay. You looks like you've got a wall of calculus. Here's my card.
That is just too funny. You're too funny. So, how do you balance being a student and social media? Because you're very involved with social media.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it was very intertwined, honestly. Social media, what I did was literally education, right? So I took that literally as studying. And so that was kind of my balance. And I didn't really hang out with friends, sadly, not until fifth semester. So like towards the end, where I was like, you know what, let me give myself a little bit more time. All I would do was, oh, you can't hang out today. I'm tutoring, or I can't hang out today. I need to study and make videos because that's super important. I need to get these out, right? Because everyone's asking me, oh, do you have a video on this? And so when people would ask me, I'd be like, okay, let me go make a video. Let me study on this and make a video real quick. So that was kind of my balance. It was, I didn't really do a lot of socializing. I was doing more social media and school, and then, making sure I go to bed by 9. I don't know. That's kind of how I balanced it. I was just kind of focusing on those instead of socializing with outside.
It is hard. What tips would you give to other hygienists or students that wanted to grow their platforms?
Make sure that you look at your school's policy book. Make sure you look at their policies because you never know what they are. Make sure you read them. Make sure you talk to your program director or your dean to make sure whatever you're posting is appropriate. Ask them. Don't just assume. That's what I've learned. You need to ask before you do it because there can be consequences that can cost you your education and your money because hygiene school is hard. So just be careful. Don't just assume because you see everyone else posting. You want to make sure what you're doing is
That's good advice. Yeah.
okay.
Great tip.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have you collaborated with any brands or dental professionals through social media?
Yeah, I have. One was you, obviously. I've collaborated with Something Nice, which is the dentist. He sells dental products as well. Um Fabletics, and so I get free scrubs every month. Yep. I'm like, I got all pink scrubs now. And actually I went to Goodwill yesterday and I found purple scrubs. I just washed these. I found purple scrubs in my size. So I was
Wow.
like, that's a sign. I feel like that's a sign when you finally get scrubs at a thrift store in your size and they're purple for dental hygiene. I was like, I think that's a sign that I passed. I don't know. God's telling me something. I don't know. But I did that. I've worked with Honey May Collection, which is Martha. She makes a lot of dental apparel. So
Yeah.
a lot of cute stuff. I don't know if you've seen her, but
I
she
saw
makes
her.
really
Yeah.
cute sweaters. I love them. I worked with her. I worked with Guru Nanda. I worked with um, Andy RDH. He actually, um, gave me my board review. I was able to work with him and I didn't, have to pay for a board review. So that was really awesome. I'm really, really appreciative of that. That really helped me. And I think that was one of the first things that I worked with too, that was like, I was just posting videos like for fun, for educational. And he reached out to me to do videos. And I think that's kind of what inspired me to keep going with my videos too. Was like, he believes in me. Like, what else can I do?
Of
So
course.
after that, just reached out to brands and see what I could do. But those are like the top ones that I can think of that I've worked
That's great.
with. Mhm.
If you could give a piece of advice to your younger self in hygiene school, what would that be?
I feel like it's kind of along the lines of ask before you do something. Make sure that you're following the rules. And second is I wish I socialized a little bit more and focused on my social media. Although it benefited me, a lot, and I'm very grateful for every opportunity and everyone that I've met through this, especially you. You've helped me a lot through dental hygiene school, especially in the last semester. But don't be so intertwined with social media. Give yourself some time to hang out with your friends, bond with them.
Yeah, it's important.
Um, I spend a little too much time on social media rather than with my real friends. So,
How do you see the role of dental hygienists evolving in the next few years?
the next few years, dang. In general, I hope that we do this interprofessional collaboration. There is this one hygienist who works at the Phoenix Children's Hospital as a hygienist. She goes to different rooms and checks on their oral cavity, see what they're doing, seeing what kind of things they have. Most of the kids have cancer. We went on there in rotations so that we could get that experience. Since I worked with like assisted living, like I was really used to death and sadness. But like, everyone who went there was really sad. And I was like, I love this. I know it's so bad to say. Like, not that I loved it, but I wasn't uncomfortable with the sad. I'm interested in doing this, going into hospitals, seeing these patients, being able to be there for them. So I really hope that this can be the change. I really want us to all have this interprofessional collaboration. And I have a lot of nursing student friends too who are becoming nurses. And if I'm able to collaborate with them, they're able to integrate that into their fields and talk to their friends. And hopefully one day that we can all work together rather than separation, because dental is not just cosmetic, it is systemic.
That would be an ideal situation. So, what are your goals moving forward, both clinically and online?
Technically, I hope that I can get it done. Which that's probably gonna be no problem,
You'll
obviously.
get the job.
But I want to find an office that is good for me. And while I think clinically is really awesome, I really love education. I know I work so hard to be but I love to work in education and to continue that. And I want to get my bachelor's degree. So that should be easy while I work clinically. I'd love to, create a program to teach, caregivers and CNAs as well. So it's kind of like my goal. So it kind of mix it all together. And then online, I'm actually in the works of doing some podcasts to be like a co-host, to do educational bits. So like, how to
Oh,
study
wow.
for the boards and how to study for school and also be a tutor for another company. But we'll talk about that once that happens. But yeah, that's kind of my thing is just honestly education.
No, that would be great. So, well, let us know when you start your podcast and everything, so
Yeah.
we can follow you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the podcast is called Hygiene Elevated too. Um, and we're kind of moving towards more education. And they also interview hygienists and stuff too, but we're kind of moving towards like another aspect of it too. So I was really fortunate to be asked to be a part of that.
Oh, I think that you will do great on that for
Thank
sure.
you. I hope so.
Yeah. What is the message that you will wanted to leave for students and new grads listening now?
Don't stress. This is temporary. 2 years will go by fast. When you're studying, make up crazy mnemonics, do active recall, and just be nice to people. Don't hog information. You got to share it because we are in a shortage, right? So we want to make sure there's more hygienists out in the world so that we can provide more oral hygiene education, make a better world for themselves. Don't just think that this is something that can be, everyone knows to brush their teeth. No, they don't. No one knows how to brush their teeth. Like I didn't know how to brush my teeth until I got to dental hygiene school. Like I didn't know the actual names of the methods and stuff and how to properly do it. I was giving myself floss cuts, so I don't even know. I didn't even know how to floss. So if you can be that change, you can help the world.
That is a really good advice. It will have to be something to do with hustle, right? Because you are a hustler. You're like, "Oh, right."
Let's see. I'm like maybe a Lizzo song or something. Oh dang, I can't even think of one.
It's okay. Don't worry. We can cut this part. We can leave it in that bias. So
Yeah, thank you.
good. And so you hear it, guys. There is hope for all of you. And here's Aniston to tell you to keep going. And I will see you next time in another episode from Beyond the Dental Chair. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see more episodes. Until then, thank you for listening and bye-bye. Bye, Aniston. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.